and hit the movie show so that we are here. Sorry, I was fiddling with something that Paul just messaged me probably a little bit ago, but I just saw it. So you saw me messing with settings because I forgot that it actually shows it when I have it set like this. So
we didn't get the papers.
No, did you ever print them? I've reminded you 3 times.
Yes, they're printed.
They're printed?
Yeah, they're sitting in the printer.
So Zim is going to tell you all the many things he watched this week. I'm just making sure our voices are picking up. Okay, Zim's going to tell you all the many things he watched this week, and I am going to just run to the printer real quick, and I'll be right back.
All right, so this week was a banner week in the household. I continued NYC Epicenters on HBO Max. It was the show I started talking about last week. It's a documentary series by Spike Lee. It covers 9/11 through 2021 and a half. And then I watched another documentary called Jodorowsky's Dune, which is about the director who made El Topo in the 70s tried to make a movie based off Dune, and it never happened, and how it influenced so many other movies. I started Only Murders in the Building with Steve Martin Sheen. It is great. Check it out on Hulu. It's hilarious. I watched a horror movie from the 90s called Popcorn, a B sci-fi movie from the 50s called The Deadly Mantis. My daughter and I enjoyed Barbie Big City, Big Dreams. Barbie goes to a performing arts school in New York City. It was exciting. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Good? Yeah, it was.
Is that the new movie?
Yeah. I watched Spin and Marty, the old series from Mickey Mouse Club. My son and I watched Alvin and the Chipmunks Meet Frankenstein. I saw Werewolf of London. And then I watched 2 documentaries, one on Hulu, which is 9/11, One Day in America, and then one on Netflix called Turning Point 9/11 and the War on Terror. Both pretty good if you're wanting to relive any of that, which most people probably don't.
I watched the rest of the Hunger Games series.
Oh, I didn't know he did comics. That's a cool fact. I will have to check him out.
So you like comics?
El Topo was the original midnight movie. Like, before Rocky Horror, before Night of the Living Dead, the very first one in the United States was El Topo. He directed it. It's this crazy Western set in Mexico. Graphic violence. Like, it is intense. Yeah, awesome. But, yeah. He was going to make Dune, and it never happened. Not that you care, because you can't stand Dune, so.
Nope. Not for me. So these didn't print very well, and it's teeny tiny.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened. I'm going to need my
glasses. The print is so itty bitty. We're talking Buffy tonight.
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
The movie, not the TV show.
The movie, not the TV show. If what you watched had Sarah Michelle Gellar in it, you watched the wrong thing. Although also an excellent choice.
Yes, it's a great show.
But the movie came out in 1992.
Uh-huh.
The series started, I think, in 97.
Correct.
So movie's 1992. It's PG-13. The synopsis that Zim wrote here, I liked. So it's so short and simple and like way more concise than I would ever manage. He says, "What'd you get it from? Did you write it?" Or?
I wrote that.
Well done. High school cheerleader learns that she is the chosen one meant to defend the world against vampires. The end.
Well, that's the plot.
It is. I know. It's way more simple than I could do it. And he also noted on here that it inspired a really successful television series that does have Sarah Michelle Gellar and Michelle Trachtenberg and
Seth Green,
and James Marsters.
It's Cordy's name.
Charisma Carpenter.
Yeah.
David Boreanaz. It's got
Willow's name.
Allison Hannigan.
Allison Hannigan.
Jeez, I'm doing good on actor names. It's
you
usually
are.
the other way around. I'm on a roll. That's it, because I can't remember the guy that plays Xander.
What about Giles?
Head. Yeah, Anthony Head.
Anthony Head, yeah. Who was
Is it
the
Head or Heed?
I don't know. I always thought it was Head because it's spelled Head.
It's spelled Head.
But he was the old Folgers coffee soap opera commercials in the 80s. Mm-hmm. There was a running storyline with Folgers Coffee where this couple met in Paris and they go on a date and they fall in love, and it always worked Folgers into it. He was the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the thing of note, it's a perfect summation of it. Yeah, I mean, it's simplified. It's not a very complicated movie, to be fair, but I don't think I would have, like, on the fly gotten it into a sentence like that, because I don't do that. That's not how I roll. There's a reason I talk more than Zim on this show, and it's because I can't shut up.
Yeah.
Don't agree with that. Okay. I know where you sleep.
Right next to you.
Right there.
Right here. I sleep right here.
Eve says that as she thought, it's not her style, and honestly, like, it's a show that can't be taken too seriously. Yeah. It's designed to be funny. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It makes fun of teenagers of the time. It makes fun of, like, that
vampire tropes,
Valley Girl mentality of the time. It's got all the vampire tropes in it. It's meant to make fun of it all. And as we were watching, fun fact about me, I'm pretty sure it's the first actual vampire movie I saw.
She's obsessed with vampires. Like, anything with a vampire, she'll watch it.
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Except for the old Dracula stuff that I can't.
I liked the old Dracula.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. I need you to watch some of the Hammer Dracula with Christopher Lee.
Okay.
It's good stuff.
I'll try it. If it's got vampires in it, I'll give it a whirl. Which is why I've seen Twilight, because they said it had vampires in it. So they told me. I considered suing for bait and switch because there were no vampires. False advertising, yeah. But I have seen all the movies, all of them. I didn't learn after one. I watched the rest.
That's a good question. Did you see Dracula Dead and Loving It?
No.
That's the Mel Brooks one with Leslie Nielsen as Dracula?
No, I actually haven't seen the vast majority of Mel Brooks movies.
Have I not had you watch Blazing Saddles or Young Frankenstein?
No.
We need to get on that.
I've seen Spaceballs.
Okay. Robin Hood, Men in Tights.
Seen Men in Tights. Yep. I was like, there's another one, but there's really just the two that I've seen.
But the two I would say are the most important are Blazing Saddles and Frankenstein.
So to be fair, okay. So my ex-husband, his family is very into Mel Brooks. So, like, the whole, like, Mel Brooks movie thing has a little bit of, like, a bad taste for me.
Okay.
It was particularly his dad, and I lost that father-in-law when we got divorced. So, and he and I were close. So,
well, Blazing Saddles, I even covered it in my paper on the history of African American film in America, because it's about a guy. So they make the new sheriff a black man, hoping that it would totally disrupt this town that they're trying to take over in the Old West. And of course, at first it does, and there's a lot of N-word and stuff, but then he wins them over, and he gets them to basically solve the problem and win. Like, he organizes everybody and gets them together.
The movie was done in the 70s?
Done in the 70s. Nice. It wouldn't have been made today.
No.
It's got a lot of
Well, we were talking
language.
about that earlier. There's a lot of things that...
But
it seems very forward-thinking for the 70s, though.
And Mel Brooks, rightfully so. That's what he was trying to say with the movie, was exactly that. So, it's a great movie, and it's hilarious at the same time.
I haven't seen it.
So. All right.
Yeah, we'll have to do some Mel Brooks. Maybe we'll do a Mel Brooks month sometime next year, because we have figured out everyone we're doing through February.
Or Gene Wilder, because he's in it.
We were productive last night.
Yes.
We have planned our actors through February, like through the end of February. at this point.
Yes, so Paul points out it's very politically incorrect that Mel Brooks was Jewish and went through a lot, and he wanted to challenge it and put it to the very forefront. Also, it was co-written by Richard Pryor. So you've got Mel Brooks, Jew, and Richard Pryor, black man, and they're coming together to write the story about a Jew and a black man on the frontier who end up saving everyone.
Nice.
Yeah, it is awesome.
I really want to see this.
Yeah, it's great.
That sounds good. I like the 2 Mel Brooks movies I've seen. I just haven't seen any others.
Mm-hmm.
But I've lost track of what we're doing.
We're doing Buffy the
We're
Vampire
talking about
Slayer.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't know, how do we land on Mel Brooks? We're talking about Buffy.
I don't know.
Buffy. Pike's
Buffy.
not a name.
Buffet.
It's a fish.
I was going to say it when we went to introduce...
No, I gotta beat you to it because it's my line. I love that line.
All right, well,
I beat her to
so
it in the
retro.
movie, too. It's so retro. Oh my god. I'm only doing it because I know it drives Paul crazy, and I threaten to do, like, extra Valley Girl accent just if he shows up. Just to annoy him. And so I feel like I am obligated on some level.
I can't believe I let you do this to me.
Yes, I hope you stayed for the credits because the credits are really entertaining. So it was nominated for 1 award.
Did not win.
Did not win. It was nominated for the Chainsaw Award for Best Actress for Kristy Swanson.
Yeah, so Chainsaw Awards are horror movie.
movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a don't take it too seriously kind of thing.
So you want me to go ahead with cast and director?
Doesn't bother him today. He didn't notice.
So it was directed by Fran Rubel Kuzi. She is IMDb most known for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Orgasmo, Angel the TV show, and Tokyo Pop. Kristy Swanson, who played Buffy, is most known for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Dude, Where's My Car?
She's in Dude, Where's My
Flowers
Car?
in the Attic. Yes, she's the older woman that's really hot that I think they try to sleep with, and it turns out...
That doesn't really narrow it down much. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
She's like one of the first people they run into on the street the next morning, and they're like, have you seen my car? Like, yeah, she's the old, because by that point she's much older, so... Oh, yes, The Chase is so good. Hi, Trey. The Chase is Charlie Sheen as...
Why are we talking about The Chase?
Because she's in it.
Oh, okay. I'm totally keeping up tonight.
He's wanted by the cops, I think, and he kidnaps her in a gas station using a Butterfinger, I think, and says it's a gun, and he holds the Butterfinger in her back. And they're in a car chase, and there's police chasing them who are filming for cops, so it's got the cops' cameras in there, and it's Flea and Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers are bounty hunters trying to catch them. I mean, it is hilarious. It's a great movie.
Okay.
And they fall in love, of course, on the way.
I do have to point out we have Iceberg with us again today. Special request of our daughter. She was so entertained by stories of Iceberg diving off of my head and my shoulder last week that she insisted that she join us again today. So everyone say hello to Iceberg.
Shot in Westview near Rice Stadium also.
Really?
The Chase was?
Let's keep going.
Okay.
And
yeah, because there's a pause, yeah.
There's a delay. So that was
All right.
Kristy Swanson.
Yeah, so
and
moving
then
on.
Paul Rubens.
Paul Rubens played Emlyn. He even used the stadium to park cars. Huh. I figured it was filmed in San Diego, but cool. So, Paul Reubens is best known for Pee-wee's Playhouse, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Big Top Pee-wee, and A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Who is he in A Nightmare Before Christmas?
He's Beryl. He's one of the kids.
He's one of the kids.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's also known for his epic death scene in this movie.
Yes.
Ooh, ooh, so entertaining that my brother and I will still like act out that scene randomly.
Well, he actually was in this movie because it was post-Scandal, and Pee-wee had been canceled, and nobody was going to hire him to be Pee-wee. And he needed a job, and so I believe it was Joss Whedon recommended him for the role. So,
he's hilarious in this.
Yes. He
took
finally
my arm.
finally proved he was able to do something other than Pee-wee. So
Still didn't have a huge career afterwards, but
he's done a lot of minor stuff since then.
he does lots of
And
like
Pee-wee's back.
Look who we got.
Yeah. And Pee-wee's back. They did a new movie for Netflix, 2-3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it wasn't bad.
You watched it, of course.
Yeah, of course,
you
because I
did.
love Pee-wee. And then Rutger Hauer plays Lothos. He is most known for Hobo with the Shotgun, Blade Runner, The Hitcher, and Sin City.
And fun fact, he's actually in another vampire thing because he was in True Blood.
Yeah.
He played Niall, who was Sookie's great grandfather or something like that.
All right.
He's the part of the family line that spoilers, sorry. That's me.
We have a spoiler
I
sign
know,
up.
but it's spoilers for Buffy, not spoilers for
Okay.
True Blood.
All right.
You go 3 seasons before you find out what Sookie is.
Oh, okay. That leads back to Twilight.
Yeah, it does, ironically. Inside joke. So basically, when you find out what Sookie actually is, other than human, Niall is the ancestor that has created that.
Okay.
I'll
cool.
word it that way.
All right. And then we move on to Luke Perry, most known for Rest in Peace, Beverly Hills 90210, The Fifth Element, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Love it. One of my most favorite movies of all time.
Another fun history of Mel fact. Everyone else in the 90s who was like, Luke Perry, and was in love with him because of 90210, for me, it was this movie. I hardcore was crushing on Pike. Like hardcore. I was like, oh yeah, Pike. Pike is the way to go.
And then other notable actors are...
Hold on. And also, last but not least, our actor of the month.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about him.
I know, I just want to do it. Yeah.
Sure. Donald Sutherland, of course, known for The Hunger Games, Pride and Prejudice, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
None of which we're watching this month.
Well, we watched
Hunger Games last month.
Okay. Fair enough.
I chose my words correctly.
So,
Other
notable actors, Hilary Swank, David Arquette, which I totally forgot was in this movie. It was such a joy to see him. Andrew Laurie, Sasha Jensen, Stephen Root, that's my stapler, Candy Clark, Natasha.
It's the glasses. Like, it's not even the voice. It's
detention.
It's the glasses in Office Space that make him so funny to me. Because he's always like, they make his eyes extra big. Yeah. But he's hilarious in this too, handing out those detention slips.
Yeah.
Don't think of me as, what is the name of his character? I don't know. Like, don't think of me of whatever his name is, administrator. Think of me as, whatever the name is, party guy. I wish I could remember his name. That would make the line so much funnier.
Yeah.
But it's a hilarious scene. Because then she shoots a tack at a fly, and he's like,
yeah.
Because he's telling her the story about how dropping acid
at a Doobie Brothers concert. my friend's head blew up like a balloon. Okay, Natasha Gregson Wagner, Thomas Jane. Whoa, that was so weird seeing him so young. And of course, young
One
Ben
line.
Affleck.
One line.
One line Affleck there. Hey, he could play the shark. So the movie.
Let's talk movie. Yeah,
Movie.
let's work our way backwards. Let's do Lothos and Amelin first, and then we'll do Buffy, Pike, and Merrick.
Okay.
Sound good?
So
Lothos. It's a pretty classical vampire villain.
Yeah.
I think the bit with the music is interesting. That he can play music to kind of enchant people, because there's a lot of vampire stories where the vampires are able to like enchant somebody, or like, because it's not really possession. It's sort of like, what do they call it in Vampire Diaries? They call it compelling.
Glimmer?
Compelling. There's other things they call it glimmering.
Okay.
They call it glimmering in True Blood.
Okay.
I was like, what is it that they do? Yeah, but there's lots of stories where, yes, totally appropriate story for administrators to discuss with students.
Yeah.
Dropping acid. Yeah. Remember that, teachers.
Well, in the original Dracula, I mean, that Bela Lugosi, and they had the light shining just on his eyes, and the rest of his face.
Yeah, because he could even do it.
And it was just bright and just like.
Melinda's not here to yell for us.
Iceberg. So
yeah, but
that was an interesting.
Yeah, I think it's, but they have like a little bit with like the really cheesy open the cape so it looks like wings when he's floating.
Yeah,
like you have all those classic shots, like the classic vampire shots where you've got, he's in the suit with the big cape, he's sleeping in the coffin with the gloved hand with the big like fluffy cuff. And you've got the some kind of mind control in there, and my hands really do move a lot. Like I'm seeing it on delay there, and it's like very confusing.
I'm waiting for
not
you to
confusing,
go.
It's distracting. I just need to be like Spider-Girl. So what was I talking about? I was talking about vampires. Yeah, so it's a lot of those like really classical vampire images, I think, with him.
Yeah.
He's sort of like the classic vampire villain.
Uh-huh.
Non-Nosferatu.
Well, yeah, because that's
Nosferatu's like a whole different...
hideous.
Yeah.
Like, frighteningly hideous.
You can pop out the chat and minimize the video so you don't need to see it and be distracted.
But I like to see the video.
I know you like staring at yourself, but I don't. Can I do that?
I like staring at your new do here.
Pop out chat. Whoa, hello.
Hey.
It's like just chat now.
Yeah, it's just chat. All right, well, let's keep going.
Yeah. Cool.
Amelin is the typical... okay, so I want to say that he's the typical, like, sidekick to a vampire, but actually, he's really not, because traditionally, it's a human. Mm-hmm. Because he has to be able to be the caretaker during the day. So, that's interesting. I just thought of that.
Yeah, but he doesn't take care of him during the day. He goes out at night. The gist that I got was that he was, for some reason, not full strength. And so he was bringing people to him.
Okay.
Like Lothos wasn't full strength, and so he was bringing like food to him.
Sure.
I think. Why? I don't know. Maybe he's been sleeping for 1,000 years. That's how they do it in Underworld.
Yeah.
They sleep for a while, and they come back, and then they have to feed for a while before they're like ready to go.
The blood just coming.
Yes, and then it goes through the body, and the heart starts pumping, and that's a cool graphic in that movie. I like that. See, we didn't make you guys do any of the gross vampire ones, because that's like you get like a full like anatomy inside a vampire as the blood like goes down, and everything it touches starts to look more living again, and
comes back to life.
Yeah. Now I want to watch Underworld. You know what? I have a bunch of movie series that I just watch on repeat, and it's Resident Evil, Underworld, Hunger Games, Divergent.
Yeah.
Did I miss any? Because I just basically watched those 4
Yeah.
over and over. Lothos's Advanced Man Vamp.
Emmeline is.
Oh, his... Okay,
Yeah,
yes. Got it.
Yeah.
That's my mother, and I need my husband to translate what she does. Makes perfect sense to me. So here's the thing. Tonight, at about 6 o'clock, my brain was ready to stream. And so my brain is now at about 10 o'clock and ready to be unconscious. My brain is not working the same schedule as anyone else or reality. Running 2 hours ahead. Yeah, so I don't think they said his name at any point, though. I had no idea his name was Amelin.
I didn't either.
Like, literally, I saw the name Amelin, and I was like, who the hell is Amelin? And then I saw who was playing it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what they said his name was.
I don't remember them saying it at any point, though, in the movie, so.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought his name was Lefty.
Because that is the one thing. Pike calls him Lefty after he's the reason that he loses his left arm. Because taunting is fun.
Yes.
Amelin is a lot of comedic relief.
Yeah.
Not that the movie is serious and needs the comedic relief, but Lothos is like the straight man.
Yeah. Totally.
And Amelin is the funny man in that duo.
Yeah.
And has...
Well, he's really the slapstick stuff, too.
He does a lot of that. So when his death scene is the way it is, it actually makes a lot of sense with his character, but also is absolutely hysterical and ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you can only see me from here up. Otherwise, I would reenact it for you fully. But I won't do that. Because nobody needs to see that. It's the wall kicking.
Yeah,
that really it's the wall kicking that gets it. Yeah. So
I do find it disappointing that they don't or when they just
die.
They just fall
they
over.
Just die.
Yeah.
They
of course,
didn't have the budget for special
effects. In the TV
like
show, it was like.
They kind of like poofed, didn't they?
Yeah, they like dustify.
Well, it's better than what they do in True Blood. Boy, the first time they killed a vampire in True Blood when I was watching it, I was like, it's gross. They go poof too. They pop. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, they literally kind of just melt into goo. Like, it's gross. And like, it's always on top of someone. There's always like somebody, it's usually Suki, that's like covered in vampire goop. It's, Splash doesn't quite, because they do sort of like pop. Like, they don't like blow up, but it's like the skin just sort of like stops working.
Ugh.
As the outer layer, and like it all just kind of like there's not a skeleton left either. They never explain what happens to the bones, by the way. Yeah, they just kind of pop. Exactly. Like they just sort of pop.
Pop.
Yeah.
Pop, pop,
It's
pop, 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 pop.
Anyway.
Like
Pike.
a water balloon.
Yeah.
Pike is not a name, it's a fish. I got to say it.
Pike is cool.
Pike is cool.
Pike is like, yeah. I remember my childhood crush. It's still there slightly in the back of my mind. He's a cool character. Like, you want to be cool, watch this movie and be like Pike. A little less drinking though, please. Let's preserve your liver.
Say? You guys are toasted?
Maybe.
And they're like, are we? Yeah. A little bit.
I can't believe it. We paid good money to see this. No, we didn't. Oh, yeah. What is there to say about Pike? He cleans up well.
Yeah, I like how he's got the little, I don't know what.
There's not an appropriate word for
politically
that.
correct title of what that little
patch
hair
of hair underneath the lip, but not like a full goatee.
Right. And
That
he
you're
just
not
kind of
gonna
like,
say what you
he
call
covers
it.
his face with shaving cream and doesn't, like the rest of it's like baby skin smooth, and he just kind of goes.
Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah.
done. I mean, there's nothing that's not funny about this movie. Like, the whole thing is just.
How funky is your chicken?
Do you remember? So funny story. Our children were much too young, but they were saying something about chickens one day, and like in unison, the two of us randomly started doing the funky chicken cheer
from Buffy,
like full on,
yeah,
because we both knew like turn around, shake your butt, and you shake your caboose, and our kids were just staring at us like,
what is wrong with you?
And our daughter's like, what is that? Nothing. Don't worry about it. But we were having a great time.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it happened like at the same time. And I would like to point out that like we did not see this movie together because he is much older than I am. I was 10 when this movie came out, and I did not see it till I was in high school. I was 10. I was 10 when this movie came out.
I saw it opening weekend.
I was 10.
With my buddies.
I was 10.
I
was a child.
So my probably my two best friends in high school, they were brothers, and their mom was a really big Christian, like uber fanatic, right? And so they weren't allowed to go see this movie. They did anyway, but they weren't allowed to see this movie
vampires,
because vampires are satanic, and it would open their hearts to Satanism. And I tried to explain to her that it's a joke, and she wouldn't have it at all. Like, so they just went anyway and didn't tell her. But
also, vampires are not Satanistic.
anything that's evil is Satanistic to her. So.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's literally nothing related to Satan about vampires at all. Also, vampires are the bad guys. That's true. You could have said like they're the bad guys. They're fighting against them.
Well, they also weren't allowed to play D&D because it opens your heart up to Satanism and demons. Because demons are in the game.
I mean, I knew a guy that wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter because it's witchcraft and it's teaching children witchcraft. I was like, it's not.
So one of
it's a work of fiction.
One of them was really into Transformers and had collected the entire line of the G1 Transformers. Mm-hmm. Had them all. His mother was told by her religious leader that he was idolatizing because he had statues around his room. So she made him burn them all.
Wow.
Yep.
My parents were awesome. Most annoying thing my mom did, and I say this knowing that she's watching, was force me to talk about sex with her and what was happening to my body in puberty. Which, I don't know if you remember going through puberty, but who the hell wants to talk about sex in puberty with their mom at the age of 13? Nobody! The most annoying thing my mom did was be a decent parent. Love you, Mom. Just wait until my daughter is at that age. Oh, it's going to be interesting.
I can't wait because she's going to be like, the waiter, like, having a crush on. She'll be like, that's the guy from high school that I have a crush on. And I'll be like, what? You have a crush on him?
Don't. No, you're not going to do that, are you?
No, I'm joking.
Okay, I'm like, that's a horrible idea. Don't do that.
I do want to be sharpening my chainsaw when her dates come to pick her up, though.
You want a chainsaw?
Yeah. Gun's not scary enough.
I know, chainsaw is definitely scary.
Yeah.
You also need, like, the hockey mask. So when they come to pick her up, you can be like, you're going to have her home by 7, right? Yeah, That's true. You're not going to be trusted with the chainsaw. Who needs a chainsaw? Just have a regular saw.
Just a...
Or you stand there with it.
In the hockey mask.
In the hockey mask. It would be much
I'll
more...
get the mechanic suit.
Chainsaw is fast. No, you need like the... Like, you're going to work at it for a while, and you're going to be awake for every second, mister.
I'll get the mechanic suit and the hockey mask and just be like... No, a baseball bat isn't scary enough.
Really scary. Get something like toothpicks, where they know they're being threatened, but have to put some work into imagining how bad... Okay, realistically though, I don't actually believe in threatening our children's dates. Like, I just want to put that out there. Like, I don't agree with threatening people.
It's not a threat. I'm just asking him to have her home at an appropriate time, or asking her to have her home at an appropriate time.
Yeah, so I feel like it puts a lot of responsibility on the person that's taking the child out, because it's not fair that it always falls on the guys, and the guys are always being threatened. Now, statistically, the guys are the bad guys here, but it's not always the case. Mm-hmm. And so I do think it's unfair to put all of that on one person. However, once the two of them are out the door and saying goodbye, that is when the saw comes out and you say, home by 7, right? Make it even. Or just like...
I'll just be like... You know, how they...
Put it in your teeth. We're off track. So, Buffy.
Buffet.
I do like when he asks her name and she's like, Buffy. Like, it is the stupidest question in the world. But then her name is Buffy.
No,
But she does. She says it like he's really dumb for asking what her name is. Like, how the hell do you not know who I am? It's Buffy.
Right.
But then the name is Buffy. Please don't name your children Buffy. And my apologies to anybody out there that's named Buffy. No judgment. To you, it's your parents' fault, honestly. No. They're probably just, at this point, if your name is Buffy, your parents are huge fans of either the movie or the show, and I can't fault them for that, because both are awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to say the show gets way deeper than the movie does. And
so the first season of the show kind of tries to capture the humor of the movie.
Right.
But they realize it's not quite hitting.
Right.
And it takes this different turn. And then from there on, like, every season gets more and more serious. By the end, you have, stemming from this ridiculous movie, you have this, like, really intense supernatural drama on TV.
Yeah.
Like, a decade later.
I agree.
It's crazy. This movie that you watched led to a really intense, serious drama.
You mean like camping?
No.
Oh, okay.
That joke would be funny.
If you hadn't heard it the first billion times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that joke weren't cracked literally every time anyone said the word intense. Every time.
I haven't done it on the show yet. So.
You have.
Have I?
Yes.
Okay.
It's too soft and you can't even keep it straight anymore.
All right, so
we're staying on track tonight.
Buffy.
Buffy is the hero of the story.
Yes.
And I have to say, for a movie in the early 90s, before they really had feminism down, this movie is pretty feminist. Like, there are some moments in it where somebody acts really anti-feminist.
Why do you think there was no feminism in the 90s?
In the movies. They weren't quite getting it right yet. It was always like, look, there's a scientist, but she's nerdy.
Well, that's because scientists are nerdy.
She's smart, but because she's smart, she also isn't very pretty, and we need to make her pretty.
That was one movie, and it was a horrible movie.
Actually...
And that was in the 2000s, not the 90s.
But it's lots of movies where, like, you can't be smart and popular if you're a girl. And there is still, in the 90s...
No.
In the 90s...
No. That's not a gender thing, because all the smart guys were also not cool.
That's true.
Anthony Michael Hall,
but
anyone?
Also, there was still a lot of slut shaming in the 90s. And so there is a moment in this movie where she reaches across the car to kiss her boyfriend. And her boyfriend's friend is like, I don't mean to sound sexist, but can I borrow her? And both the boyfriend, who is not a great person, but the boyfriend and Buffy both react to it in a really constructive way. The boyfriend was like, don't look at her. Like, that's not cool. Buffy was like, come on. Like, you know better than that kind of thing. And I liked that early 90s there was something like that, because a lot of the movies from the early 90s do subjectify women. Subjectify, is that the word? Objectify, thank you. I was like, doesn't sound right.
But like when the friend grabs her butt when they're walking down the hall, and she like flips him and then slams against the locker. That was pretty awesome. That was awesome. Yeah.
But I also think it's important to note how the people reacted in that situation. Someone grabbed her without her permission. She reacted very violently because she's on edge from fighting vampires. They don't know that part. But she reacted to it, and somehow she was the one that was wrong in that situation. And I would love to say that we have grown beyond that as a society, and unfortunately we have not. Do better, people. I know we've gone from being like totally crazy to like serious. We have a serious conversation about Buffy here, okay? So I wanted to put that out there in terms of feminism. Like, I dig this movie. Is it perfect? No, but I like when they figure out how to have a strong female character, keep the vulnerability, keep the femininity, but still have them be strong. And a lot of people really struggle to find that balance. And I like...
Princess Leia?
Just because you can name some does not mean that it is the norm, which is what I keep trying to explain to you. Just because you can pull one out of thin air does not make it the norm.
Okay.
So I like that in this movie they managed to find that balance. Sorry, my allergies like out of control today, guys. Sorry, I keep sniffing at you. So that's my bit about Buffy. One of the reasons I really dig this movie is the fact that they have found that perfect balance between being really strong, really self-sufficient, really independent, and still be able to be vulnerable, be able to be hurt. There's a scene at the end at the dance when her boyfriend broke up with her machine and decided to go with one of the other groups of her one of the other girls from her group of former friends, and didn't tell her. He told her machine, and she hadn't been home, so she didn't know. So she goes there thinking she's there to meet her boyfriend, finds out that he's broken up with her, and has this very vulnerable moment where she's now very in that awkward position of being at a dance, thinking she's there for a date, and she's just there by herself. And so I like that it has that balance. They're doing it right. It should be hard to find good examples simply because there are not many bad examples to contrast with them. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. And I think that as a whole, movies are getting better about it, and shows are getting better about it. Like, more and more people are finding that balance. Part of why is because more and more people are hiring women directors and women writers who live that experience and know how to strike that balance because they are that balance.
All right.
That way you don't have to talk about the feminist stuff as a dude.
All right.
I got it covered. No mansplaining.
Okay.
Not that you would have. I'm just saying, like, we're not even going to set that up. I will hit the feminist stuff and you can talk about the rest of it.
Okay.
Because also she's cute as a button.
Oh, yeah. Christy Swanson was, I mean, there are so many movies she was in that I was just, as a 13-year-old to 16, 18-year-old, was just like, oh.
Like, I don't know that I've ever seen her in anything else.
Okay, so she's my blah, 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 neighbor's friends, blah, 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 said she saw Ferris at 31 Flavors last night, and he was throwing up all over whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as I said I don't know if I've seen her in anything else, I remember that it said she was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I have seen that. So I maybe didn't realize who it was when I saw her. But.
Okay. She's in The Chase. She was in The Program. She's in the John Singleton movie about higher learning. She's in Higher Learning. She was in a ton of stuff in late 80s, early to mid 90s, and then just kind of disappeared.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if she like quit acting or
I don't know.
she quit getting work. I'm gonna have to look her up now. See what she's been up to.
Yeah.
Cool. So why is Rutger Hauer not known for Lady Hawk? Or am I the only one who likes that movie? Because we don't pick the most known force. We do the ones that IMDb says. And
Yeah,
I gotta
and
tell you, most people don't know Lady Hawk,
Lady Hawk
unfortunately.
was not a huge movie.
It's amazing. And if you don't know Lady Hawk, you should look it up and watch it because it's phenomenal.
If you had, I think it was probably HBO or Cinemax in the 80s and 90s, you've probably seen Lady Hawk because they ran it like every other day. But box office wise, it wasn't a huge one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if we ever do Broderick on this show, I mean, obviously we'll do Bueller, but I could sit here for the whole show and go Bueller.
See,
Bueller.
I don't.
Bueller.
I do
Bueller.
Ferris Bueller, and then
And Lady
Election.
Hawk.
No, I never think of him. I always forget he's even in Lady Hawk. So.
He's like one of the main characters.
I know. I don't remember him in that.
It's like
and
the wolf and the hawk
and
him.
And what is War Games?
War Games. War
I
Games
love
is
War
good.
Games and Project X.
I don't think I've seen that.
He's working for a government program that is training chimps to fly and then exposing them to radiation to see how humans would react during the bomb. And he doesn't know that's what he's doing. He thinks he's just training them to fly, and he finds out and breaks the chimps out of the thing and sets them free. Yeah, it's a great movie. Biloxi Blues, that's another good one. Yeah.
It's got a lot of good movies.
Oh, Godzilla, of course.
Not for the best reasons, though.
Hey, it's a fine movie. It's just not a Godzilla movie.
I remember nothing about that movie except for my experience watching it.
Ah!
Which was literally the boyfriends of my group of girlfriends in high school wanted to go see it. We wanted to go to something else. It's probably like a rom-com or something. Like let's go full stereotypical here because it's pretty likely at the age of 16. I never outgrew my love of rom-coms, by the way. And I think we're doing one eventually, right? Are we finally gonna do a rom-com on this show? Eventually. We'll do a rom-com on this show, I swear. Not this month, next month.
Next month, yep.
Next month we're doing one, aren't we?
Yep.
Okay. I was trying that. Oh, so we were like, fine, we'll go see this movie, but I don't know. I'm sure there was some exchange for it, like they had to buy or something like that. And so in order to make the movie enjoyable, the three of us, because there were three girls, and we decided going in that every time they showed Godzilla's foot, we were going to scream. Now, if you've seen this movie, we did not know going in exactly how many times they show Godzilla's foot.
A lot.
We did. We screamed.
And I think they used probably half of them in the trailer.
So every time we saw his foot, we would scream. And it reached a point where, like, I'm sure we were annoying a fair few people in the theater, but, like, most of the people around us were just, like, laughing the whole time. And, like, so were we. Because they all figured out what we were doing. Because there is one moment, I think, where you actually see Godzilla, like, walking. And so every time the foot hit, we'd go, ah, ah, ah. And, like, it just... We were entertained. It was great fun.
Okay.
So, yes, that's my Broderick Godzilla. I couldn't tell you anything else about that movie. I know there are eggs, and that is why Zim and I have a constant debate about Godzilla's gender.
But that is not Godzilla. That is Zilla. Canon-wise, his name is Zilla, and
His name of the movie is Godzilla.
Right, but Toho made it canon, and its name is Zilla, and Godzilla kills it in Final Wars.
Okay, so it's dead, but it's still female. It lays eggs.
But that's not the actual Godzilla.
And I still stand by the fact, who can trash a city if they're pissed off about what men are doing better than a woman? I'm just
sorry.
saying.
I missed something.
You piss women off, we gonna fuck with you. So, you mistreat the planet, Godzilla shows up, and bye.
Well, but it wasn't
female.
the U.S. government's fault. It was the French government's fault. No, Godzilla is not female.
Godzilla lays eggs.
Godzilla is asexual.
That is the closest I will come to an acceptable argument. But we have had many arguments over the gender of Godzilla. And I would like to know what gender Godzilla chooses, because frankly, I think that's relevant.
I'm not sure Godzilla has that kind of thought.
Why not?
Because Godzilla's brain is like the size of a marble or a cherry.
How do you know that?
Because in Godzilla, King Kong versus Godzilla, the original, there's berries found on the island where Kong is, and a scientist says that Godzilla's brain is about the size of this berry.
Then how does Godzilla know? How is Godzilla cognitively processing what is happening on the Earth and the fact that it is needed in order to come and with a brain that size?
I didn't write it.
And yet you defend it to your dying breath. He dissected Godzilla in high school, probably.
We did dissect was it a cow's eye? I think.
We did.
That was kind of cool.
Sheep's
Maybe it was a
eyes.
sheep's eye.
Like the teacher had a cow eye because they were bigger, and then the students had a sheep's eye.
And then the teacher did a cat. We did a crawfish, an earthworm, a starfish.
That's a lot.
A sponge. I know there was something more advanced than the crawfish, but I don't remember what it was.
We did a squid. And we did frogs. And then we did eyes. That's it.
Oh, frog. Yeah, we did the frog. Of course. Why didn't I think of that, E.T.?
That's it, though. We only did that.
Okay. Cool. So, Merrick, the reason we are here today is because of...
Pregnant dwarf shark. Interesting.
Ooh, interesting.
You went to private school. I read it, and then I saw who wrote it. I'm like, that's why.
I went to private school.
Well, that's why.
When I was doing the dissecting.
That's the difference. I went to public school in fucking Texas.
I was still
and
at
we
the private
all
school at that
know
point.
how fucked up Texas is now. Because they've made it really clear. Really clear. They just said, you know what? People don't know how stupid we are here. Let's make a law to send up that red flag as high as possible so the rest of the company, or the rest of the company, the rest of the country knows how fucking stupid we are.
All right, so
Bravo,
Donald
Texas.
Sutherland plays Merrick.
Yes, we're here for Donald Sutherland, who's awesome.
Yeah.
Good old Merrick.
I feel like he gets taken out way too soon and quickly. That's my only issue with Merrick. Otherwise, I think he plays him
Makes
really
it
well.
almost to the
It's
end
funny.
of the movie.
I don't know. He just doesn't, like...
Because it literally goes, his death,
Right.
and then the dance.
Okay, the dance is another 20 minutes, though.
But
But
he's there for everything, basically, except for the final fight scene.
But he doesn't ever really do anything.
He's there for the training montage. That training montage is important because that is his job. His job is
to watch her kick a...
to train
bag.
her to do things. He's timing her. He's got that watch.
I guess he does do the sweep the leg.
He does, yeah. So the idea is that he's training her and all that, and then it's their dialogue
But
shifts, though, from before the montage to after to show that their relationship has grown.
Been reborn again and again since the beginning of time and is constantly fighting Lothos, and yet was taken out so easily in such a, like, ridiculous way. Like, he should have... He I just have a problem with that.
It is a pretty dumb way to die.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally over and over training the one, the chosen one, in order to fight Lothos, and you think you're going to stake him?
Yeah. Like, I could see him staking Pee Wee Herman, but not Rutger Hauer.
But I also feel like at that point, though, wasn't she enthralled?
Yeah.
And so I feel like what he was doing was just trying to break the connection.
Yeah.
And that he was successful at. And so what I agree that it's a dumb way to die, but also I feel like he was like sacrificing himself in order to...
Sure. I do love when he was like, oh, one more thing.
You threw a knife
at
my head.
Yes. So what
compared to Corleone's Snow, is that his name?
President Snow. Obviously Snow is so much
bad guy,
more.
good guy.
Yeah.
I think Snow's a deeper role as well.
Yeah.
As compared to Buffy's chosen
Yeah,
oneness.
I don't think
he
that...
can train her in the montage, but isn't her, so he can't win. Yeah.
Right, I get that. And I agree with that. It's just...
You're just saying it was a dumb move.
Yeah, like...
He should know better.
Yeah, like, why would he do something so dumb?
Because she was gonna die.
So you, like, throw something at his head from the shadows.
Like, No. I mean, I think that the way he died fit right in with the rest of the quality of the movie. I mean, it fits. Is it cheesy?
Sorry.
Yes. Was it a poor choice? Sure. But, I mean, people make dumb choices all the time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I've met your ex-wife.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, it was good.
Wow.
Love you.
Uh-huh.
His job was done. He had to take the single action that was most likely to free her, especially if he'll just come back to train in the future. Yeah. I'm with Paul. Paul's got some good logic here. For Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. It's Buffy logic.
It's Buffy logic, okay.
Buff logic.
Buffalic.
It's hard to compare the two roles, honestly.
Yeah.
Because this one is such a, like, I mean, it's meant to be cheesy, whereas President Snow is so serious.
To contrast, though, they both kind of have that, while one is conniving and one is the old mystic, they both have like that wiseness about them.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, I think in terms of the way that he plays them, they actually have some similarities as well, because you have a lot of, like with President Snow, you have a lot of moments where he's not saying anything. Like we've mentioned before,
right.
Like unspoken lines,
right.
the non-spoken dialogue. And he has a lot of that with both of these characters, because he doesn't actually say a whole lot with Buffy. There is a little bit, but you're seeing a lot of like his reactions to things that she's doing and his reactions to things that she's saying. And you have like, I think that you see kind of shadows of that with President Snow as well, where things are happening and you can tell that he's calculating his next move. Moves and counter moves. It's not a line from the one that we watched, but it does apply.
I like his face when he's like, you have the mark, and she's like, that gross mole, I had that removed, and he's just like, has this look on his face like, you did what now?
Like she's like telling me I'm a member of the Hairy Mole Club and my birthright is in a graveyard. No. As if. It's good. It's good.
Good stuff.
Yep, I like them both.
All right, so
Is there any other specific plot things that you feel are relevant? I feel like we've hit kind of the big ones. Any other lines that we've missed?
Oh, there's so many.
There's so many great quotable lines in this movie that we quote all the time, whether we've seen this movie recently or not.
I hadn't seen this movie in at least a decade.
Same.
Yeah.
And yet we quote it, I'd say at least once a month.
Yeah,
it comes
probably.
up. It's memorable. I'll give it that. It stays with you.
So, what's your overall feeling? Or do you want to do the rating first?
You want to do the toes, or do you want to, or toenails, or do you want to do parent?
Let's do the toenails first.
Toenails. I would give it 5 out of 5 toenails. Is it a phenomenally written movie? No. Are you going to have fun watching this movie? Yeah, as long as you know what you're getting into, this movie is a blast. You're going to be laughing, and it's fun. I give it 5 out of 5.
See,
5 out of 5 toenails for fun.
See, I give it a 4. It's not epic. It doesn't change the world, but it's a lot of fun.
I don't think it's epic. Okay, I'll give it 4.5 toenails. So on an average, it's 4.25. Listen to us. I don't like the idea of splitting toenails. So you went with toenails.
Yeah.
And the idea of splitting a toenail in half just like
it's painful. That's
and
right.
So like I don't want to split toenails. So I'm like
I'm
gonna go for the 5.
But I give Casablanca a 5. I'm not gonna give Buffy a 5. Does that make sense?
But I would say I have as much fun. I guess it depends on what you prioritize. I have as much fun watching Buffy as I do watching Casablanca. It's a different kind of fun, but I enjoy them both to the same extent. In the same way, no, but on the same, like, this much fun and this much fun is the same amount of fun.
Yeah.
Which is why you watch movies, right? Some of us that are not movie snobs watch movies because it's fun.
People split stars, and they really should be fifths of stars. 1 point. Casablanca is a better movie. I'd rather watch Buffy. Quality and enjoyment are different scales.
Yeah.
Okay, so Casablanca is the greatest movie ever made, first of all.
Okay, quality and enjoyment. Enjoyment, 5 out of 5 toenails. Quality,
2?
3 out of 5 toenails. I give it 3. It's a solid story, and from that solid foundation, they were able to make an entire, 7-season show.
Uh-huh.
So it's got to have a solid foundation. I'd give it a 3 out of 5 for quality. So I guess the average there would be 4 toenails for me, if that's how we wanted to analyze it.
All right. So
for me, I tend to go off of enjoyment, though.
So it is rated PG-13.
It is rated PG-13. It's
got some scenes that would definitely scare
It has teen
children.
drinking and teen sex in it, parents. Just know what you're getting into going there. It has got not a lot of blood, but they do have,
it doesn't
their lips
need to,
are always bloody.
Well, and they've got the fangs, and they're and
they got pointy ears.
Yeah, they make some scary faces. And are you on something? I mean, you're literally floating in the air.
Yeah,
I'm hungry.
They're under the influence.
I just love how he's like, "Are you on something?" And he's like,
"I'm hungry.
No.
Let me in. Come on, man, you're floating."
I love it though. He's like, "Are you on something?" And then they switch the camera angle to outside looking up, and he's floating, of course. And he looks down. He's like, "No." It's great. So
right foot is.
Left foot is enjoyment.
Right foot is quality foot. Left foot is enjoyment foot. So I have a total. So that's out of 10 toenails then.
Okay.
So I've got 5 for quality and 3 for.
So it's an 8 toenail.
Yeah, so it's an 8 toenail movie. This show is fantastic tonight.
Oh my!
We're professionals. Spat when I
say it. Don't spray it. Our son did that to me today. He was talking to me and just thanks.
Well, his mouth is always because his nose is so stuffed up all the time.
Yeah.
And so his mouth is always very wet.
Yes.
So I'm sure it was like more than a spray. It was like a whole shower, a flood.
It's all right. I love him.
Yeah, I honestly, like, drugs, drinking, alcohol, violence, a guy loses his arm. There's no pools of blood or anything.
No, it's not like graphically violent. I just think it's intense scenes.
Yeah, there's...
So I agree with the PG-13.
I think the PG-13.
Yeah. But as always, preview it first.
Yeah. We didn't do we're still, so
what?
we've tweaked the order that we do things.
Uh-huh.
And so we didn't do our recommendations for Donald Sutherland.
Right, we do them right before we go to break.
Yeah, back when we talked about Donald Sutherland right before the break, but now we don't do that anymore.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Sorry.
We gotta figure out where to put him. Because it seems awkward to do it now, but I don't actually know that many Donald Sutherland things, and so my recommendations are literally the Hunger Games series and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because it's the only things I've ever seen him in. So, it's going to be an educational month for me, man. I'm excited.
So, for me, I recommend The Hunger Games, Time to Kill, JFK, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and MASH. Yes, count it. Only 5.
Yeah, I gave him crap last week because every actor... It was supposed to be 3 to 5 movies that we recommend for the actor. And, like, every actor we've done, his list has gotten longer and longer. And for Donald Sutherland, last week, he literally recommended 9 movies. 9! And I was like, it's supposed to be 3 to 5. Like, you're more than double that smaller number now. You're 3 times. Can we just, like, rein it in a little bit to pick 3 to 5 movies? And so he actually, you guys can't, I mean, you're not going to be able to see this, but in all caps, after his little list on our spread, or on our outline here, he said, only 5! Exclamation mark. Thank you for following instructions, finally. After doing the show for months.
I can be taught.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break. And then we'll come back. We'll talk about what's coming up the rest of the month and what we've been up to this week, what you've been up to this week, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
Oh, that's this button over here. We'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. See you soon. Bye. And we are back.
Nanu.
Every time.
Every time.
I'm pretty sure he only does that because not the very first show, but one of the first ones that we were chilling in bed talking to you guys, he like spent the last 30 seconds of the break waiting to do it, and I was like, don't you dare. And then I refused to actually go live again until he put his hand down. And so now he does it just to be a butt. Because I didn't let him do it once. So, Zim, what have we got coming up this month? We mentioned earlier, we've been busy. We have been productive. We've planned our actors out through February at this point. And we also figured out what movies we were going to do for the rest of this month, which we struggled with because there's a lot to choose from.
And it's also difficult because we want to do movies that do highlight his talent. And while he plays a lot of great characters, a lot of them are supporting roles. So it's hard to find ones where he's like the dude.
Yeah.
So next week, this is a new one, I think, for both of us.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
So
looks like a tearjerker.
The Leisure Seekers is...
I think they said Leisure Seeker in the preview.
Okay.
That's what they named the RV.
The Leisure... Okay.
Right?
Leisure
and so
Seeker?
she literally says
Okay.
He named it the Leisure Seeker.
Okay. That is on Stars, for those of you who want to watch along with us. Following that, on the 20th, we will be doing the classic American comedy MASH. That Unfortunately, is not available for free streaming.
It's available to rent for about $4 on Vudu.
Yeah. And then we will finish the month on the 27th with A Time to Kill. And that is available currently on HBO Max. And that will also, of course, segue to next month's actor.
Yes. And as always, you get a clue every week. This week's clue is that we're going to go back into our cycle of girl, boy, girl, boy. We've done a couple guys in a row, so because it didn't work out to get to a girl from Woody Harrelson to get where we wanted to go.
Yeah.
So we will be doing a girl next month.
Yes. So it's
yes.
a woman.
A woman. Yes. I'm excited for next month. I am. I'm excited for this month too, actually, because we're actually going to do a comedy, which we don't do as many comedies as dramas on here because I don't really enjoy them. We just did
a comedy.
But yeah, with Donald Sutherland, we actually are going comedy drama, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I feel like we've done good for this month. Like we've got a nice mix. We've got a nice mix of years as well.
Yeah. So we've got some 90s. I believe Leisure Seeker was
recent,
2018 or something.
Yeah.
MASH, of course, is 1970s. I don't remember the exact year.
Yeah. 72, 76.
No, it's not 76. I'm 76. It's way older than me.
72 then.
Yeah, it might be.
And I saw it when we looked last night. I was up past my bedtime doing this. And he was like, let's go ahead and look at the next actor. So we did that. Then he's like, let's look at the next actor. And he's like sending me this list of movie. And I was like, it's 11:30. I need to go to sleep. Like, I'm cool that we know the actors we're doing through February, but we don't need to plan all of the movies through February because I need to sleep.
Says the person who has to plan everything.
And we will.
Yeah.
I need to sleep too. And then I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I was still up when you came to bed.
You were still up when I came to bed at like almost 1. And
you came to bed at 1:30.
1:30? Was
it
really?
was well after 1, yeah. You were up late.
Well, I did watch the next episode of NYC Epicenters, and those things are like over 2 hours each episode.
I was coloring pictures on my phone. And fighting indigestion. I had a stomach ache. I didn't want to lay down. It makes the stomach ache worse.
Tonight, I'm going to watch Dune.
Have fun.
The original David Lynch movie.
Enjoy. That far away from me.
A new 4K scan. You'll actually be able to see what's going on in the picture for the first time. Because it was very dark shot. It was filmed with
so you
the
like
light.
it, but you couldn't even see what was going on?
Well,
it's like it's an audiobook.
Well, someone complains that the Godzilla movies aren't good because the reason Kong Skull Island is better than the Godzilla movies is because it's shot in the daytime.
Who said that?
Trey. He can't see anything in Godzilla, especially the 2014. Because it's all at night and with dust twirling around and everything. He's like, you can't see anything.
Are you like... I'm curious. Is your television the shape of a cube? What's funny is the delay on the yup.
Yep,
for
was
us
perfect.
Was right after is your television shaped like a cube, and it's like, yep. I know with the delay, like you hadn't heard that yet, but it was perfect for us.
He's sorry.
In the theater, really, because we just watched it on the TVs here, and I didn't have that problem. And usually, that's one of my complaints. Is like if everything is so dark, I have trouble seeing detail. I didn't feel that way with the Godzilla movies. I just thought the Godzilla movies just weren't that good. But they weren't like written that well. Skull Island though was great. I really liked that one. See, Paul says, well, like Dune and movies in that time were made for theaters, which kind of brightens scenes a little since their black is actually quite bright gray.
It's still
Let's see the
really
argument.
dark.
I think the issue is the contrast, yeah. They look too dark on high contrast modern screens. 2 Godzillas shot at night with dust so you can never see anything. Skull Island had a big fat sun all the time as a backdrop. And it's just a better movie. It's a better story. Better characters. All around.
It is, I would say, the best one of the series. So I believe that's
Skull Island was a
when we
legit
ranked
good movie.
them for our very first show.
Our very first show.
Yeah.
And that was my ranked number 1.
Yeah.
And it was like Skull Island. And then the other movies. Like way down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you
So
wanted
Godzilla can go elsewhere, and I'll hang out with Kong because he's awesome.
Yeah, I think we agreed that it was Kong, then King of the Monsters, then
King of the Monsters, the one with Godzilla and all the other ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla versus Kong, and then 2014.
2014 was at the bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
loved at the time.
I
was
had a
like,
million
that was
problems
so,
with 2014.
At the time, I was like, this is like epic Godzilla movie. And now, like, looking back, I was like, wow, it so was not.
I did not like, what's her name, Elizabeth Olsen?
Yes.
I did not like her character at all. In fact, her character made me super angry. And I don't think that one got recorded, actually. I don't think that one's up. I was going to say go back and watch it, but I don't think you can.
If you watch
in the game room, it was on OLED. I find those to be brighter than even the other 4K TVs. Yeah, I was able to see just fine. We don't need to go back to rating the Godzilla movies.
Yeah.
We've done that.
Literally
on this show.
Let's move on.
It was how we started. Yeah, so we're here at the end. What have you guys been up to this week?
So a couple of people haven't been here in the last couple of weeks. We've added something at the end of the show.
We've added something, yeah, because our show goes a little faster now that we're not like, we got some great feedback from Trey, who's here tonight, that one of the things that disrupts the pacing in our show is the having to come back for spoilers later. So we just do spoilers from the start now.
Yeah.
And it gives us all this extra time at the end. So we can just like chat and yuck it up and whatever. So
and
we've had this thing
sticking with the theme of our channel.
Our channel, yep. Mental health, self-care, neurodivergence, etc., which we don't really get to talk about very much on this show because we're very focused on getting through the stuff we need to say for the movies. But so we've added a thing now where it's Monday, it's the beginning of the week. What's something you guys did last week that you feel good about? Tell me something amazing. Tell me something great that happened for you last week. What about you, Zim? You go first. Not to put you on the spot or anything. I made you go first last week, too. You should have known it was coming.
What did I do? I don't know.
Anything.
I could
it can
say
be
today.
Small.
Today?
Yeah, something
Okay.
small. It can be something small.
So a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned that it had been pointed out that on special holidays like birthdays, I tend to lose my shit. And so for my birthday, which was 2 weeks ago, I made a conscious effort to not lose my shit and did very well. So today was, it wasn't a huge holiday, but we had family over and we had a nice dinner and stuff. And I was not the one in the household that was losing my shit. So I felt pretty good about that.
Who in the household was losing their shit? Was I?
No, you
like
were
I did
pretty
good.
good. Yeah.
I struggle a bit when we have people in the house.
So,
I did fine.
Yeah. No. So it's cool. What's this?
See, Eve is saying she went to Music in the Park and saw one of her favorite local bands. That's awesome. I'm going to have to point out that hers shows her whole name, but my mom is saying Still sticking with the workout challenge for her sister. And my daughter's been joining her, especially when she walks in the pool. Yep, because she's walking out in the pool doing laps. It's cool.
Yeah.
I started physical therapy, which I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I mean, in the long term, it's a good thing. Today, I'm still hurting, and physical therapy was on Friday.
Yeah.
So, there's that. See, Paul, be eating a lot better the last few weeks, which has been going great. Yes, and Paul and I also, another great thing for us is we gave Twitch the finger and joined YouTube. Which I feel like was a positive thing from this last week. I feel really good about it. I think it's going to be good.
How did it...
How's it working for you guys?
Yes.
Do you guys agree?
Did you guys like switching to YouTube? Is this better?
Is it like not very different for you? Like I count that as a win too. If it's not a huge difference for you, then I feel good about it. It's a little different on our end. Working fine. That's good. I'm excited about it.
I'm bummed we can't do our game. It doesn't run on the system.
We can't. We haven't figured out how to make the contests work yet. But there is a poll button, so it doesn't give you guys points, but we can always put a poll up.
Yeah, that'll be fun. We'll be doing that.
I know. We should have made one saying, "Did you like the movie? Yes or no?"
The other thing is, so for us to
post... we haven't dropped tonight at all. That's cool.
So for us to post the trailer for next week's show, when you click on it, it will take you out of this because it's also on YouTube. Yep. And so we will put that up right before we log out.
Put it up as we're saying goodbye.
That way you guys can check out the trailer for next week's movie.
Yes. I'll try to figure out a way. Yep. Yeah, we've got a few things that we were doing on Twitch that we've got to try to figure out how to do here on YouTube. But overall, it runs about the same in terms of like my Stream Deck, the buttons work, and
Trey pointed out it saves the videos better. Yeah, that's a good, because now it'll just automatically go to the channel. Yes. We don't have to.
I don't have to do it.
Yeah, we don't have to do it manually.
I could it's already there. Like it'll end and it'll just be there.
Yeah.
Zero extra effort. I love it.
Please give us a, what do they call it? Subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe. Yes, if you haven't already. Because we do, one of the downsides to YouTube is we do have to have a higher number up there. So
yeah, we were one away on Twitch.
We were, but that's why it's a good time to make the switch.
You didn't tell Jessica.
I didn't tell Jessica. Oh, I texted Jackie and Jenny. I forgot one of the J's. Too many J's. I know too many J's.
Well, your videos last forever on YouTube. Yes.
Yeah, they'll be here forever as opposed to 2 weeks on Twitch.
That's scary.
Yes.
Oh, I've got something huge.
I was surprised.
My gosh.
You said today, and I thought that's what you were talking about.
Oh my gosh. So
and then you were like, I kept my shit together today, and I was like, oh, okay.
For months, I've been waiting for a job as a historian at the Naval War College to open up.
He has not gotten this job.
I have not gotten the job.
But we knew it was going to be available eventually.
Yes, I've had someone at the Naval War College campaigning for me, and the job went live, and I applied and made it past the initial computer weeding out
He's
program.
made it to the point where a person will actually look at his resume.
Yes.
Which is awesome. So, is it a job he's going to have? We don't know.
We don't know. But it's exciting that it's finally starting to roll forward, and
it's sort of been this like limbo where like we know it's a possibility because he's got somebody there that is like, hey, you'd be perfect for this job. He told him about the job. And so, yeah, I think in that, like, it's cool just to be nearing the point where we'll just know yes or no.
Yeah.
Like, it'd just be nice not to be in the gray area anymore. But, yeah.
And I would love to move out of Texas and move to Rhode Island.
I don't want to raise my children here.
So,
particularly my daughter now.
The awesomeness that is Dancy, yes.
Is it okay that you're saying this on YouTube?
He already said the name, or typed the name.
No, I mean the other stuff. Because it's not a job that you have.
No, it's not a job that I have.
Yeah, okay.
That's very clear. Okay. I do not have the job. It's just...
Yeah, the job is not a guarantee.
It is finally opened up.
Yeah, he's been able to send his resume, application, etc.
I've been waiting for months, checking the website every day for months.
Awesomeness that is Dancy. Dancy's awesome. Dancy needs to watch our show.
He is on the East Coast and is going to bed at this time.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because he's at the gym at 4 a.m. every morning.
This is really late. At 4 a.m.?
Well, that's what he used to do when he was here. I don't know if he's still working out.
I remember when I'd get up at 4 to work out.
Yeah.
I was not an adult. I was 16. I would work out before school. I don't do that now. I value sleep much more in my advanced years. More advanced than 16, at least. I'm pushing 40, and I need that many hours of sleep every night, so I'm always tired.
I don't know if he still does that with, of course, COVID, and I know he...
But I know they have, like, a Peloton and stuff. Yeah. Like, they work out at home.
Yeah. So.
His wife and I are friends. It's nice. We pair up nicely.
Yes.
She and I are friends, the two of them are friends. It works out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was one of my professors at my university.
At school.
Yeah.
Cool. So who knows? Maybe we'll have some big news, and maybe we won't. It could be good news. It could be bad news. I don't know. But at this point, I consider any news good. It's like just knowing.
Yeah, just knowing. Just knowing.
Would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's nice to take a step.
Yeah. And you take a step forward. No, I'm sorry. Wait. Take a step back. Okay, now take a step forward. And then we take a step back. And we take a step forward. And then we cha-cha.
Do I even want to ask?
It's from Real Genius, Val Kilmer. All right.
Okay.
It's a reference to Real Genius.
So it is time to send the message.
Okay.
We're gonna. Earlier, I was thinking of that movie. With
yes,
what?
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who once said, "I drink what?"
So we're here every Monday night, 8 p.m. Central, for Monday Movie Madness with Mel and Zim. Tuesdays and Thursdays, Paul, who's in our chat this evening, Paul and I play games, talk mental health. What is the blurb that we came up with? Is brilliant. I didn't write it down. We talk about our minds and whatever happens beyond them, I think is what it was. Which I felt was pretty accurate. We play games and we talk about our minds and whatever happens to be on them. So you guys feel free to join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central. Did I say 10 p.m. Central or 8 p.m. Central? I think I jacked up the time. Sorry. Monday Movie Madness. Mondays at 8 p.m. Central. And then our game show. It's not a game show. It's Mad Misadventures. Paul and I play games on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central.
And I lost my thing here.
You lost your thing. You guys hang out in the chat for a minute. He's going to post the preview link for our next week's movie, The Leisure Seeker, that has Donald Sutherland and... Shit.
The Brit.
Helen Mirren.
Not
the Brit. There's like a million.
Yeah, but
Brits.
No, she is the Brit. Like
she's the bomb.
Even
is what she
at
is.
her age. Wow.
She's amazing. I love her.
I do too.
So I'm gonna take us on to the exit screen. He's gonna send this link here any second now.
It says it's sent, but it did not pop up.
Okay. Let me see if did it get caught? I didn't get a notification or anything that you were trying to send something you shouldn't. Well, I tell you what, guys. Just right here on YouTube, as you go, look up The Leisure Seeker trailer and watch it, because it's just right here on YouTube. You can just search for it. Because it is time that I want to let you guys go. Yeah, and I resent
it again, and it's still not doing it.
Okay, so I think we can't send
a link to a YouTube. I'll have to find the trailer on a different site and put it up that way, Unless you can't send links.
I don't know. something I will look into before next week.
Yeah,
See if
we'll
we can
find out.
Come up with a solution. Otherwise, guys, just search for it right at the top of your YouTube screen. You can just search for The Leisure Seeker, and it should pop up the trailer for you. Otherwise, we will see you guys next week. I will see anybody that comes to the game show tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central. He is trying to send as himself. Let me make him a mod. Where are you at?
Clear at the top.
Clear at the top. There you are. Let me make you a mod. Zim is now a moderator. Try sending it now. I can't put it in the description. That's true.
Well, it actually has a line under it this time.
I still don't see anything though.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you here next week.
Yep.
Same
we'll fill
mad
with it.
time, same mad channel.
Yep. See you guys next week. Some of you I'll see in the morning. Take care.
Bye-bye.